Hi, and welcome to SEO Hangouts with Josh Bashinsky. I am the aforementioned Josh Bashinsky. I am the only Bashinsky that is Josh Bashinsky, except there's one in Calgary, so that's not true. I'm the second Josh Bashinsky, but I was the first one. He's younger than me. So if you've never seen the show before, SEO Hangouts with Josh Bashinsky, we are the best SEO show on the YouTubes. We use scientific methods to try and prove what the SEO ranking factors are, so you can know what the SEO ranking factors are too. And I have a mentorship group, which I share all these secrets with at secretseo.guru. And so if you've never seen my mentorship group, go check that out at secretseo.guru. If you have any SEO questions, you can email me at joshbashinsky@gmail.com. I like to say that all off the top just to make sure that you guys can contact me if you need to. So today I got my Facebook guru with me, Melissa. Say hi there, Melissa.
Hello.
How are things going with you today?
Things are awesome.
Good.
Always awesome.
Fantastic. Everything's awesome. We're having beautiful weather. Things are going well. So if you have any SEO questions, please ask them on the top right-hand side. That should be over this side, I believe, on YouTube. And I'll try to get to your SEO questions. If you could use some stars so I could see them, that'd be fantastic. Also today, I'm doing free site clinics. If you'll give me your site, I'm going to run it through Screaming Frog and tell you some things about it that you need to look at for SEO. Screaming Frog is a very powerful tool. I did a course on it last week for my mentorship group about advanced ways of using Screaming Frog. And if you really know the ranking factors at a scientific level, Screaming Frog can really help you boost a site like that. Just boom. It's really convenient. So I also have the Cora correlation tool, which is also a very powerful SEO measurement tool. So please give me your sites, put them in the chat there, and I will get them into Screaming Frog and into Cora and answer all your SEO questions as well. Before I start that, I'd like to start off with our segment we almost always start off with on the show, which is What's New in SEO. I noticed something very interesting recently going on in SEO. I'd like to share my screen here for a second. And I don't know if you guys can see this, but apparently SEO is not dead. And SEO is so alive that apparently Google feels they need to have an SEO myth-busting show about it. And this is the trailer for it. They actually made a trailer for this show they have coming out. And they're showing, they're going to go through misconceptions. They're going to go through myths. Apparently, it's going to be apparently like a documentary series where they're going to be interviewing people. Of course, they're going to be interviewing people who know nothing about SEO, who just go to SMX and just talk to each other about blogs and things like that. So they really aren't doing any scientific testing. They really have no idea. Anyway, that's sadly what's going on. Everyone's gonna have a weird hair color apparently, but yeah, why Google is doing this makes no sense to me. They've pretty much killed SEO. Recent studies have shown that well over the majority is leaving SEO. 10% is leaving it entirely. That was a few years ago. I think even more are leaving it. SEO really is kind of getting really difficult, scientific, technical. So why Google is going through and producing this set and producing this whole thing, I have no idea. I guess is just the final coup de grace of their public relations to try to make sure that SEO stays dead so they can pump up their misinformation. It's kind of clever on the part of Google to put out misinformation about SEO by saying it's a show that dispels SEO information. That's next level. That's Bernaysian next level propaganda. Melissa, what do you think about that? Do you have any thoughts about that? You're probably busy picking your jaw up off the floor.
I'm laughing. That's interesting. Having sat through a few of those primary colored rooms at the conferences, I can only imagine what interesting and fabulous myths they're going to bust.
Yeah, it's going to be.
I guess each episode is going to be SEO is dead or didn't exist, and the other person nods yes.
Yeah, or it's going to be watering down SEO. Like, SEO is very important for your sitemaps, and then tell me, like the camera will pan to the guy. What did you do with your sitemap? You know, like, oh no, like what? Like, what is going on? What are they going to talk about on this thing? That doesn't make any sense at all. What, they really are bored over that. Like, I don't know what is going on. But Google has a history of putting out things that are ridiculous, and like, you know, like Google Glasses. Google Wave, all these kind of products that are like, wow, this is the next thing, and then it just dies, it's gone. So I don't know. Like, it'll be also very interesting to see if any of us, like any of the real SEOs, any of the scientific SEOs, actually get on this show, or they start trying to bust our claims as to what's going on. It'll be very interesting to see if they do that, and that would actually help me tremendously, because it would tell me how far along the chain of Google listening to us we are, which would be a good thing for me to find out, because we know things that we don't want them to know that we know. So yeah, so that's crazy. What's new in the world of Facebook?
Oh, well, as just like Google, the old Zuck is always exciting and new. They've probably, in relation, there's always news updates. Of course, they're dealing with all their fallout of transparency issues and groups that promote misinformation. But from a marketing standpoint, the things that are to watch, or that have kind of come out this recent past 2 weeks since the last show anyways, was that Ads Manager and Business Manager are getting an update, which anyone who works with them, and Business Manager knows how annoying it is.
Yeah.
This could be something good, or it could be something bad. We'll have to see. They claim that
if I delay my money, it would be the latter, probably.
There'll be new buttons to press. They claim that the one thing that it looks like, from my standpoint, I was just looking over things, is that onboarding clients to Business Manager should be an easier process, which is the thing. Of course, so many people don't like Business Manager. It's a beast. And our old school was, you took on a client, took their account, they never saw what was going on. And of course, Facebook has been pushing away from that forever, so that the client, everything you make for them, the client keeps. So that's what they're trying to I think, find a solution to get people to actually to onboard themselves with Business Manager.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other interesting thing that you might be seeing popping in your Facebook news feed now, other than it's been changed as well, is the 3D photos, which from a marketing standpoint is something new you can use if particularly, I found the stuff I'm seeing lately in some interesting marketing ploys is using those 3D photos, because they're new, so you'll stand out. A couple of products that I've seen, particularly interesting things, like the one I saw recently was a shoe ad, and it allows anyone who hasn't seen it. It's a 3D-ish photo, compatible with Oculus, of course, and you can manipulate your phone to get different angles, or use your Oculus, which I'm sure would be more impressive, but not something I've done yet.
Well, I saw it on your phone, and it was pretty interesting, actually. That could be kind of a game changer. I wonder if that technology is native to Facebook, or it's going to be ported out to other things, so we have to watch out for that. And also, as I understand it, Facebook has a new skin as well.
Yeah, well, that's what I was saying about the news feed updating, and things look different, and that it looks different.
Is it any better? Are people liking it?
Well, 50% of the people hate it, 50% of the people love it, and the other 50 don't care, if you know what I mean. So it's still adjusting. I don't mind it thus far, but we've been through so many iterations of them changing that I don't think it's made a big deal. Personally, from a marketing standpoint, it's always a bit difficult, because now grandma doesn't know where to click. But
right, that's what I was going to ask, because from a marketing standpoint, does it make any difference?
No, I don't. Again, it'll be that slow adjustment for those who are not savvy. However, if you're selling to anyone under, the age of 60, it's probably not too bad. We've seen so many updates that I haven't seen any difficulty in people moving over to changes.
Interesting. In the new world of Google, Google recently released stats that they're sad. They're losing money. Well, not really, actually. They just didn't make the amount of money in ad spend that they thought they were going to. Barry Schwartz recently put out an article. I think it was on either Search Engine Land or his blog, SE Roundtable, one or the other. Barry Google butt kissing Schwartz. And he said that they love to play up these articles that make Google look like the good guy. And so the gist of the article, and I can find it if you want to see it, but the gist of the article was, Google ad spend has actually gone down. False. Google ad spend has actually gone up. It has gone up every year. The cost per click has gone up every year. It just didn't go up as much as they thought it was. They thought it was going to go up this much, and it only went up this much as opposed to staying the same. And Google can't figure out why that is. Google's like, well, we don't get why that is. Our cost per click is prorated in the system. It's supposed to go up that high because they lost. I know the reason why, or I have a hypothesis as to the reason why. It's because they lost customers. Because the more they increase the CPC click, the higher the margins are for the business. And some businesses exist right on the red line where if the margins increase just a little bit more, they no longer have any money and they go out of business. So the cost per click here, $20 per click, they can survive barely and have a little bit of profit. The cost becomes $30 a click. It goes over the red line, and a whole swath of businesses that they like to call edge cases or collateral damage, they call it in military terms, goes out of business because they can no longer afford, margins are margins, and they can no longer afford the cost of business. So that's
I wonder too if it's also the fact there's more places to advertise that Facebook, for instance, Instagram, so many other places you can advertise now that cost less too for businesses. So with the ability to refine and use, a pixel and retargeting, the other platforms are getting better at collecting customers further down the funnel, and typically those costs are cheaper on other platforms as well.
Yeah, that's true. So it definitely is. There's definitely more marketing you can be doing. Google, but still, there's only so many businesses that actually. My camera's out of focus. Boom! Come on, focus back in, camera. There we go. There's only cameraman. If I have a cameraman in this sound guy. Yeah, there's 5 people back there you can't see. It's a highly produced show. There better not be people back there. That's weird. What was I saying? I made too many jokes. I don't know. I'm sure it was brilliant.
We were talking about various reasons for the ad spend and businesses only existing on the red line. The other thing I will say, just to add to your point about that is when I've encountered clients lately, even on Facebook, and they come to you and say, I want to do advertising. The cost for Facebook advertising is going up as well, of course, too. Yeah. So when you go to create your ad in your AdSense and it says suggested budget to get, the results for a split test, it starts at $1,000 for your 5-day try, your 5-day split test. A lot of businesses can't afford to do that.
That's true. Yeah. I mean, $1,000 just for a split test is, for mom and pops, that's difficult, right? At
exactly.
Now, the counter argument could be made, well, mom and pop, that's the cost of doing business in this digital age. And, you should have factored that into your SWOT analysis. But I think that would be a jerk. I think that would be a jerk. There's plenty of businesses that have been existing for 30 years and now they can't afford it anymore. There's plenty of businesses that should exist and just can't afford it. I mean, at the end of the day, it's just the big tech taking more a chunk out of the dollar that flows through the internet. That's what it is at the end of the day. And that's all it is at the end of the day. I was going to say, from a practical standpoint, from marketing, there is businesses that really do really well on Facebook, and there are businesses that don't do so well on Facebook. Usually at the top end of the sales funnel will do better on Facebook, in my experience. And the lower end sales funnel, only on certain like affiliate kind of more sleazy offers, as insofar as you can get them on Facebook. It's hard to get that traffic for those kind of offers. And also some businesses do better on Google Ads as well. So there's a pros and cons you have to do. Using Facebook for our SEO purposes, Melissa has shown us ways to get the cost down ridiculously low, like 1 cent a click for our SEO purposes. And that does maybe have quite kind of a boosting factor if you know how to do it and you know when to apply it and how to apply it. And if you want to know those things, join my mentorship group at secretseo.guru. That plus a billion other experiments that we're doing on a regular basis. We know ranking factors that nobody else has even dreamed of. And I'm not being facetious. That's not hyperbole. We know ranking factors that other people have not even dreamed of. You will be quite amazed when you join. You want the proof? By all means, go to bit.ly/SEO proof. That's bit.ly/SEO proof. I challenge you to go there and look at the proof of all the results we're getting in the field. I think you'll be impressed. All right, so let's go to the questions now and see. Christopher Ramsey. Sorry, go ahead.
I've got a delay on you. The one thing I was just going to say is just one last word on Facebook advertising, because that's of course where my eyes are, is also keep in mind the different types you can do. You can advertise in Messenger, you can use bots, you can make sure you understand who your clientele are. And that sounds like such basic marketing 101, but realize where they'll be and where you're going to get bang for your buck. So even if you've got someone, perhaps if you're doing a plain site, standard newsfeed ad, that might be cold traffic, but you could do some amazing things in Messenger as well using bots there. So I just wanted to add that to make sure when you're on Facebook, you're using the right ad for yourself.
Definitely. So, I mean, that goes into, a million other things we could say about Facebook and how to properly do the Facebook ads. So that's definitely going to be a future show. Melissa will be giving us more presentations as to what's going on Facebook and how to do it. Just even basic stuff, about Facebook that some people might not understand. Like even me, I don't use Facebook. I hate it. So I'm not on there. So I'm like, every time I go on there, I'm like, how do you post? How do you do this? How do you do that? So I just want to mention that there was some discussion here that was interesting. Christopher Ramsey says, heard Google is debating charging for Google My Business when we're talking about Google fleecing customers. And Jordan Pierce, who's a good friend of the show, who's like the local guru, the eminent local guru, period. He says that's just for features. They have tried to charge for GMB like 3 times and all failed. So so I find that interesting. Thanks guys for chipping in there. So like I said, if you have any questions, please ask them. You can ask them live on the top right-hand side on YouTube. You can also join the show. I put the link there if you want to join. If you have a microphone and you want to ask live, you can go ahead and join the show and ask live. Also put your websites in the chat, and I would love to use my toys. I'd like to use my toys on them. Screaming Frog and Cora, and start to see some stuff about what's going on, Screaming Frog in particular. And let's see what else we got here. Christopher Rogers says, do you have any experience working with PI attorneys in a large market? If so, curious your strategy for building local citations that excludes sponsorships, scholarships, etc. Doesn't fall into an aggregator. Jordan did give an answer to this question. He said, find a niche, geo, and general citation directories. PR helps too. I would agree. I don't think it matters for the particular kind of local business. For me, a site is a site. Local sites, there's local factors and there's global factors. Citations are somewhat important for local rankings. I think, and Jordan and I talked about this a couple weeks ago, it's much more important for proximity, filling out your GMB, maybe even boosting your entity, things like that. That's all stuff that we could talk about in the mentorship group and also in Jordan's student group as well that he has. If you want information about that, please ask him in the chat. I'm sure he will give you information on that. So again, if you guys have, I have more questions up here that I missed. So George asks, hi, what would you recommend for adding 5 more languages to a website? Woo, that's a lot. I would recommend beer and coffee. 5 subdomains or 5 subfolders or integrating all 5 to the existing site. It doesn't matter as long as you have the hreflang tag set up properly. So a subdomain would probably work fine. Subfolders would folders would work fine as well. Folders would be integrating into the existing site. I would not auto switch or stuff like that. I would have the hreflang set up. It doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, it's going to be a different URL for Google, whether it's a URL parameter or not. It doesn't really matter. And the important thing is to make sure you have your hreflang set up correctly so that the hreflang on all the pages, the English, French, and German pages are all the same. Page A has the correct hreflang. Page in English, French, and German. Page B has the correct hreflang in English, French, and German. And the same code is on the same pages that are the same, that are duplicate pages. As long as you get that correctly, it doesn't really matter how you serve it and where you put it, because it's all going to be different URLs anyway. So at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. You might want to go for an exact match domain, and don't forget the ranking factors for those other languages. You might want to go for an exact match domain or something like that, and other factors you might want to boost on that. If you want more information about that to make sure you rank it properly and SEO it properly, please join my mentorship group at secretseo.group. Then he says, let's make it more difficult. Some languages are problematic, like RTL for Hebrew, and if not enough, also Chinese. Again, it doesn't matter. They're going to be served on different URLs, and the key there is to get hreflang set up correctly. Let's see what else we got here. Troy asks, do local sites rank better with local backlinks, or it doesn't matter? In my opinion, that doesn't really matter. I'm not really sure what Jordan's going to say there, but I strongly doubt that makes a difference. And like we've been saying, I said, and he said a couple weeks ago, it's not really about the links at that point. There's a ton of other ranking factors that are important, especially more important for local, like reviews, or responding to the reviews, having your GMB fully filled out, things like that. Those kinds of maybe traffic, maybe quality, maybe CRO, things along those natures could maybe be much more important. Okay, let's see. So guys, please go ahead and put your sites there in the chat. I want to use my Screaming Frog tool if you want me to. I would be happy to give you some good SEO information from that. So go ahead and put your information there in the chat, and I would be happy to answer more SEO questions. I would also be happy to take a look at your site and see what Screaming Frog can tell about it. And Jordan, as I said, he does respond. Relevant link is a relevant link. You can have a national site put out a GP with relevant local content with a link. Again, it doesn't really matter. Okay. So Troy gives me a site to look at. It's called Sunburst Superfood. So let's go in here into Screaming Frog, and let me share my screen while I'm firing up Screaming Frog. Here we go. And it's very easy. I put in that. And I don't know if it's HTTP, HTTPS, or I have to worry about that. Let's just say start. And it's going to start crawling that thing. And immediately, boom, it starts looking at all the different URLs, HTTP, HTTPS. That's fantastic. So the crawl's here at 17%, and it's going to process a whole bunch of stuff. If I had the access to Google Analytics Search Console and Hrefs, I could also plug that in, but I don't have access to that, so that's not going to be added into the crawl. But I do have some other stuff. When it's done crawling, I'm going to click Crawl Analysis here, and that's going to tell me some other interesting stuff about what's going on here. So we're going to let that process as it goes. Let me just take a quick look at the site here. I can't believe this myth-busting thing. That's just blowing my mind. Okay. All right. So we have Sunburst Superfoods. We have an email newsletter. I would make sure your users are okay with this. If this is working for you, great, keep it. But if it's not, I wouldn't use it. We have a 301 for HTTP to HTTPS. Okay, good. That's fine. So we have a blog thing and a big X thing here. This is kind of a design error. I wouldn't have this thing right here. I would make sure you don't have any design errors or just anything that's going to break the flow of people using it. Let's try and find a page that they're trying to link here, probably. Super green. And let's go to this one. Okay, fine. Boom. Okay, so this is a standard kind of, if I add this to a basket, what happens? Okay, let's look at the basket. Yeah, let's check out. Let's buy some super greens. So this looks like it's some kind of e-commerce play. It doesn't look to me like it's a affiliate site, which is interesting. So please let me know in the chat there if I got this right, if this is actually an e-commerce store or not a Troy, let me know if this is a e-commerce, like a drop shipping thing. You're doing a drop shipping deal, or you're doing an affiliate deal thing here. And anyway, so let's say you're trying to rank for organic barley grass juice powder. Will ship early May. Barley grass juice powder, Sunburst Superfood. So I don't like repeating the brand name in the title. It's wasted space. So there's tons of stuff in your title tag that we've proven for ranking factors you should be doing in here that you're not doing. There's at least 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe even 5 different SEO things you're supposed to be doing in this title that you're not doing. So this title of barley grass juice powder sunburst superfoods is not. Again, I don't mean to be critical, overly critical, but that's not good enough. That's not sufficient. You're missing 5 different ways of boosting your rankings through your title tag alone, the way it currently is. Another thing here is this phone number up here. Virtually no one's going to call it because virtually no one's going to see it. I don't know if you want people calling it. I don't know what this little X does here. What does it do? Nothing. I click it. It doesn't do anything. So again, I don't know what this space is, what this X is here, why this is here. If you guys can't see what I'm talking about this thing here. I don't know why that's there. That's not really helping out. I would get rid of that and move this all up. You have 1 review. It would be better to have more. That's for sure. I don't see any sales value propositions. I don't see any reasons why I should buy this. I see a fancy looking picture for organic barley grass juice powder. I guess that's good, but is this the picture you want, or do you want to be selling the dream? Like, do I want to be putting this brown crap in my mouth? Or do I want to see how healthy I'm going to be on it? You might want to rotate this picture out, or at least A/B test having good looking people here, the standard kind of health and fitness kind of pictures you see. People use them because they typically work. And I think this is not a bad picture. I think you might want to swap it out or A/B test having a better one here. I don't like that you have extra words here in your URL. That's not necessarily helping you. There is at least 2 things you're missing from your URL here, at least, if not 3 things that could help you boost rankings. 3 separate factors we've discovered through scientific testing that could be boosting your ranking here that you're not doing. So you definitely would want to get higher going on that. If I go back to the page here, if I scroll down again, so we have a description in here at the bottom. So here's what I would call your SEO text. And here's all kinds of things in here. Now let me take a look here. How is Screaming Frog done here? It's almost done. And it'll tell me a lot of stuff as well. Ooh, Screaming Frog. The SEO's best friend since ever, really. Although it's gotten much better lately, especially with our tests we've done, because now I know what to look for. And I can look at 20 pages at once as opposed to eyeballing a page. But so again, this is not everything you need to do here. These headers are missing 2 or 3 different factors separate factors we've proven will boost your page. So you're missing those factors there on this page. Now, it doesn't matter. This page, for all I know, could be ranking, and you're like, this is ranking number 1, George. What are you talking about? I don't know if you're saying that over here. You're not. But even if you were, it doesn't matter, of course. It's relative to all your other competitors. Even if you're missing out on ranking factors, you want to add them, or at least you want to know about them, so you can add them when inevitably some competitor puts them in their page and then they're ranking better than you. So yeah, there's a lot on this page that could be done that's missing. There's some content stuff here that's missing. Let me just do organic bar. All right, so we got 15 instances of the keyword here. That's again not too bad, but probably there's stuff here that again needs to be added, related products. So yeah, so there's stuff here that could be added for sure that we're missing out on. Proven ranking factors. Email me at joshpaczynski@gmail.com, and maybe I'll point you in the right direction to elaborate on that. Now let's check out Screaming Frog. That's just my eyeballs. Now the crawl's done 100%. Now what we want to do is do a crawl analysis and click Start and let Screaming Frog do some extra processing on this. And immediately we're going to see some very interesting information about what's going on when we do the crawl analysis. And it's done. Boom. Okay. So this is some interesting stuff. So first off the bat, I can see look at this really cool thing here that Screaming Frog will do. It'll automatically process your internal page rank called link score based on the oldie 1998 or whatever it was paper written by Larry Page and Sergey Brin, and it'll process what your internal pages are doing. And interestingly, so these pages here are primed to rank, the ones that have a link score of 100. They've got the full link juice of everything that your site is sending, everything that your site is routing and sending and has, according to a Screaming Frog, which is, between you and me, is not going to be perfect. I'm sure Google has amended their internal page rank calculations since that original paper. In fact, I know they have. But it's going to be a pretty good guess, it's another guess. This guess is just as good as if I had gone here and turned on SERPworks and been like, hey, SERPworks, what does Moz think the internal page rank of this is? It thinks it's a page rank of 2. That's what it thinks, right? So, and what does Majestic think? Majestic thinks this has no page rank because it's domain and page. 16 trust flow for the domain, 0 trust flow for the page. 19 for Moz, okay. And organic barley grass is what it is. If I do a search here for that, organic barley grass, yeah, you can see here that Screaming Frog thinks it's got a link score of 10. So that's pretty close to, that's in line with what Moz is kind of saying, and also not that far off from what Majestic was saying. So again, anyway, the point is that you can use Screaming Frog to calculate a link score. And not only can you do that on your own site to see, oh, how am I flowing my internal page rank? Hey, here's a pro tip. You can use it on sites, on backlink sites, to see what page will be the best page to get backlinks from these guys. I don't own this site. You can crawl and analyze any site on the interwebs, and so you can wow your customers and friends, and you can also get the backlinks on the right pages by making sure you're using Screaming Frog here with the link score. You have to do a crawl analysis for that, I believe. And so these are the pages that have got the highest link score, like blog. I don't think that's what you want. Nut butter's great. You're probably trying to rank for that. Longevity, I don't think you're trying to rank for the word longevity. So again, I'm seeing multiple errors in here that we've proven through scientific testing that are going to demote you, and some missed opportunities that we've proven are going to boost you. And so if you want to get more information about that, again, please look into my mentorship group at secretseo.guru. It really is a comprehensive thing. And if you want proof that the proof that we know what we're talking about, go to bit.ly/SEOPROOF. What else will this tell you? Well, it'll tell you a whole bunch of interesting stuff. For example, page titles here, it'll automatically tell you down here which ones are duplicate. You just click this, you export it to your writers, and you say, fix the duplicate ones, please. I also notice immediately, just by looking at this, you've got a whole bunch of URL parameters. You don't want those. I also notice immediately by looking at this that you have a bunch of blog tag pages or blog kind of pages like this, tag pages and blog, just combination of links pages. You don't want any of this. None of this should be, oh, it says it's non-indexable. Okay, never mind. If it's good. It's supposed to be non-indexable. Good. It's canonicalized. Fantastic. Good, because you don't want any of that. Good, fantastic. Also, if I go back here to all, and I go to over 568 pixels, some of these titles are too long. Again, these are all indexable. These titles are all too long. You don't want these titles to be so long. You don't want them to get the ... You want that to definitely show up right. Having blog in the URL, again, that's not, I don't like doing that. It's not good for you. It's not helping you at all. There's a lot of default, like the tag pages that I showed you, there's a lot of default kind of stuff that people do. It's actually not helping them at all. Let me see what else we can see here. URL, meta description. Okay, so let's look at your meta description here. I can see there's a lot of duplicates. That's not a good thing. You do not want your meta descriptions to be duplicate. And so there's other stuff here I can see in your meta description. There's at least 2, if not 3 different ranking factors you're missing out on that could be boosting you, and one that's I don't know if it's demoting you, but it's definitely a missed opportunity. So definitely, and Screaming Frog allowed me to see that very quickly. So that's the cool thing about Screaming Frog. Meta keyword. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Okay, I'm going to tell you right now, you do not want to be doing this. I will break the pay veil, and I will tell you as a public service, this is probably demoting you right now. This is not good. You want to get rid of all of these. All these meta keywords that have superfood. You want to be getting rid of all of this. This is hurting you. This is probably hurting you for sure. So I would definitely get rid of those. And again, as an SEO, see how much power it is. I'm just able to go blink, blink. Hey, client, remove those. I can just say export. Any ones that have content here. Let's look at the H1s. Let's see if you're missing any H1s. Okay, good. You're doing some good things here, but I'm also noticing some yeah, not too bad. So this is pretty good. That's pretty good. H2s, you don't always have H2s. That's not good. So again, I'm seeing some problems here. At least two different problems here that I could diagnose just from this report alone. You're missing two scientifically proven ranking factors that could be boosting you. So you're missing out again on two different things. So please contact me so that we can point you in the right direction for this information. You have canonical tags. That's a good thing. Pagination doesn't matter because Google is now ignoring rel next prev. Yeah, and like I said, if I had access to analytics and Search Console, I'd be able to see that here and stuff like that. So also link metrics if I had Ahrefs plugged in, which you can do through the API. The response times here, most of the pages were within a second. That's good. Some pages took 1 to 2 seconds. That's not fantastic, but it's only 0.21 of your total. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. Google has gone and publicly announced that speed is a ranking factor, and it is. So this is a good thing that you're under 1 second of response times for Google. That's good. It still might not be fast enough, mind you. So this is not screaming out, if you forgive the pun, because I'm using Screaming Frog. I'm so funny. Sorry. I have to amuse myself somehow. If you forgive the pun, this is not screaming out as a huge problem. Like sometimes I see people with 2 to 3 second response times for most of their site. That's a problem. Like that's definitely an issue. So 0 to 1 second is good from a Screaming Frog perspective, but do not think, I want to make it clear, do not think from that therefore you're good on speed. It really depends on your competitors. So speed is definitely a ranking factor. Speed, I can wholeheartedly say, you need to get the time to first byte down. You need to get the paint time down, and the processing time down, and the paint time down, and the DOM usable time down. And that doesn't include the DOM usable time or the paint time. That's just how long it took your server to respond to a crawler like Screaming Frog. Okay, so let's see here. So I hope that helps you out. If you have any questions about that, please email me at joshbashinsky@gmail.com. I'd be happy to point you in the right direction for more information. Let's go back to the chat here, and we'll see. So Troy does say, yeah, it's e-commerce drop shipping. Okay, great. It's interesting that that's the kind of site you had there, because a lot of sites are like that. Drop shipping is a play that a lot of people are doing. Affiliate stuff is a play that a lot of people are doing. Okay, let's see what else. Come on, guys. What other questions do you guys have here? What other sites do you have here? Give me a site. I'd love to plug it into Screaming Frog and give you some 2 cents of the problems I see. I will tell you to remove them right away. So go ahead, put your URLs here in the chat, and I will be happy to take a look. In the meanwhile, Christopher Rismier asks, what are the best practices for large blog sites? Just links and make sure everything is internally linked in well, since it is heavy blogging, so there's no focus on any particular page. Okay, well, before I answer that, a Russian fellow with a Russian name that I cannot say. What is that name in English? Let's see. What is that in English? To English. Dimitri. Hey, Dimitri. How you doing? Okay, so Dimitri, he gives us, hello. Okay, he gives me this site here. So let me take a look at it. And sportmarket.net.ua. Great. So Screaming Frog is free to use, by the way, if you are under, so I will save this as, hold on. Cancel. Okay, first off, save this in case you want this information, Troy. I'll save it to my desktop here. Boom. There's no point in wasting it now that I've saved it. Okay, now let's go special Windows Control V, Sport Market here. Boom. Okay, let's start a crawl on that guy. And so, sorry, what I was saying is that it started responding right away. Boom, look at it go. Ooh, graphs and everything right away. Oh, look at the response time. We can see the response time filling up here in real time here. Uh-oh. So far, 36% of your pages are up into the 2-second mark. That's not so great. But we are hammering your site pretty hard right now all at the same time. So that is to be remembered. But, Dimitri, I was going to say that Screaming Frog is actually free for under 500 URLs. But I have, of course, the full URL license, so I can do, I believe I could do unlimited URLs. I might kill your server and kill my Windows machine. But we'll let that run in the background here. So there's no reason for SEOs not to be using this now, especially when you have our knowledge of what the ranking factors are. You can immediately tell you're missing out 3 things here, you're missing out 2 things here. Oh, these 2 things are demoting you, and you're missing out on 3 boosting factors. But let's look at this guy here while that's going on. So we have, it looks to me, a Russian site that's selling sporting equipment. So that'll be harder for me, obviously, because I'm not a native speaker. But I can tell some things. So let's see here. We have phone number at the top. We have a big hero image. It's non-clickable. I don't know if this is something you're selling. Again, because I don't speak the language, it's not going to be as useful, sadly. Dimitri. Dimitri, do you have a microphone? Do you speak English well? If not, can you type in the chat here then? Help me out. So talk me a little bit through your site and what you're trying to do with it, because again, sorry, I don't read Russian. This looks like Russian to me, or maybe Ukrainian, but I'm not quite sure. I can tell it's obviously a sports site, but please put it in the chat here what you're trying to do, so I can give you some more help as Screaming Frog starts processing it here. So like I said, we're starting pretty steady at 30% here, going up to 2 seconds. That's definitely something you want to look at. So I can tell you right off the bat, you're gonna want to do that. Also, let me take a look here. Yeah, sadly, how do I say? Hey, yeah, translate this. Translate it, Google. That doesn't really matter. Let's go to a paid. So this looks like it's a link for massage tables or chiropractic tables, therapeutic tables. And this one is a particular brand name. Well, it's good that you have the picture on the left. Here's the price. I can see, I'm assuming these are the sales value propositions as to why to buy. It's good. This is actually not bad, because it's good. You need the sales value propositions. Social psychological experiments have shown that if you have, I'm assuming, let's assume for the sake of argument, these are the sales value propositions. I don't even know if they are. I can't read that. But it's good to have the sales value propositions close to what I'm assuming is the price and close to what I'm assuming is the buy button. And if I'm right in those guesses, that's a good thing, because I didn't even need to read the language to know this is the purchase button. So it's going to be that much, if I'm right. So that's going to be that much easier for people who read the language to buy it. So this is actually not a bad, as long as people are coming in on desktop, this is not a bad e-commerce page. And the description is pretty high up here. Oh, we have extra pictures. That's good. They can just scroll through like a long sales page. People like that. That's good. We have a video. So this is actually a pretty good. Oh, and I like the price and the sales value proposition. Stick around. We got even more reasons to buy here, I'm sure, with the stats and what's not going on for this table. And you're talking about delivery here as well, I'm pretty sure. So that looks pretty good to me from a sales perspective. Dimitri says it's an online sporting goods store. That page I was looking at, Dimitri, how well does it convert? Because it looks, I don't know if you're getting any traffic right now, but it looks to me like it should convert pretty well. I like the layout of that. So you're about 30 seconds behind me as I talk. So in about 30 seconds, hopefully you'll be able to get us some answers there. Now, I can't really tell much more because I don't read the language, and that's how I can tell what the keywords are supposed to be. But let's look at Screaming Frog here. Okay, so let's stop it from now. For now, let's do a crawl analysis. From what we have, just 9% of the site crawled, and I'll work with that information. Keep in mind this is skewed on just 9% of the site because the site looks like it's a pretty big site. We crawled 1,100, 1,200 URLs at that point. But so keep in mind, it was pretty constant at 30% of your pages take up to 2 seconds to response. I don't know, of course, if you're mostly selling to people over in Ukraine or Russia, then that's of course the area that matters, not for the speed of me trying to get your site here in Canada. But that's something you want to look into. It's probably not going to be fast enough. Definitely want to look into that. Also, if we go here, let's see if I can get some information here. Protocol response goes protocol. Let's go to interesting. Let's go to internal. Now I have only processed some of the link score, but this is what it's looking like. And you see this all the time because and you're like, you might be like, Josh, why does all the top level pages like blog and the other top level pages, why do all these other top level pages all have, and the index page all have the highest link score as compared to, let's see, do we get any other pages? Like these pages down here, which might want to be your ranking pages, let's just say for sake of example, they have hardly any. 3% of the site's internal page rank juice that's flowing through it from external to internal is getting to these pages. Now, if that was your ranking pages, that would be terrible. You'd need to fix that. You'd want to fix that. Well, the answer is why do these have such a high link score? Because they're pages in the header that are getting links on every single page. So you definitely want to fix that. You want your ranking pages to have the most links. At the very least, on all these pages that are getting the most link juice, there should be a link on this page going down to these pages that you want to rank. So we've got to rethink in the industry how we make our linking structure to properly rank web pages. We're leaving it all on the table up to the index page, and then we think it's going to trickle back down, and it does, but not that much. As the Democrats like to say, the trickle-down method doesn't work, and it doesn't work in linking either. It does not trickle down that much. It goes all up to the top and stays there. So this is not, again, like I said, this is not quite accurate. And if I were to use, where is it? If I were to use SERPworks to get a sense of how much link juice, they would say, oh yeah, this has got 20, page rank of 2 or 20, and it's got 4 trust flow. So it's still low. It still needs to be higher, probably. But again, that's something that you could tell really quickly from Screaming Frog. Again, I don't know. Let's see here what I can tell, even though I don't read the language. Even though I don't read the language, I'm going to try and tell some things here. First off, in terms of overview, we have 500. We have a bunch of titles over 568. You want to get rid of those. We have a bunch of duplicate titles. Even some of them are indexable. So all these duplicate titles, all these filter pages, I don't know what these filter pages are, but Google is going to try to start, probably get really annoyed at some of these pages. If it's cruft that you don't need to rank, you don't need it. So you should be no indexing these pages if they're not ranking pages. You don't want to let Google deal with it. You'd want to clean those kind of pages up, especially if they're duplicated. Meta description here, a lot of them are way too long. Some of them are duplicate, some of them are missing. We have missing ones, we have duplicate ones, we have ones that are way too long that you need to fix. I like that you have code in here for the check marks and whatnot. I don't know if that's actually going to show up in Google, but that's kind of what you want to have to make yourself stand out, to get more clicks. Meta keywords. Uh-oh. Okay, so get rid of all these. These are not helping you. You're going to want to delete these. At best, meta keywords is a diff rank factor. And at worst, it will demote you, possibly in some testing. We've proven it will demote you in some testing. So at best, don't, and at worst, remove. So you definitely don't want that there. If you're okay, so H1s. Let me see here. I'll just take a look briefly, and yeah, even just by looking at this, I can tell you you're missing out on at least one proven ranking factor. You're missing out that one on one scientifically proven ranking factor. I could tell is not here. Also, we have a lot of duplicate. You want to look at these. Some of these are non-indexable, fine, but even some are indexable and duplicate. You don't want those. Again, these pages are looking pretty crufty to me, but I don't read them, so I'm not sure what they are. Anyway, back to the normal H1s here. As I said, there's one proven scientific ranking factor, at least one, that you're not using, you're missing out on. And so if you want to find out what that is, email me at joshbashinsky@gmail.com, and I'll point you in the right direction to get the information of all the scientific ranking factors that are going to boost you like crazy. Guaranteed to boost you. And H2s, okay, again, I don't read the language, so I have no idea. Sorry. Canonicals, you seem to have them. Fantastic. Yeah. So that's about all I can do for that because I don't speak the language. Conversion rate is about 0.5% or 5%. Okay. 0.5% is not very good. 5% is great. And this will probably be the last one today. If you want to get yours in there really fast, let me know. Where was it that I just clicked? Was it this one here? Development by the Sea. Is this the one I just clicked? I think it was. Let's put this in Screaming Frog, and let's see what scientifically proven ranking factors you're missing out on. Nope, that's not what I want. Go back to here. There we go. Start. Okay, this is a much smaller site, so it should crawl faster. Let's see the response times in real time. Oh, good server. It looks like all of them are responding under a second. That's fantastic, and we are about done. Good, and I will do the crawl analysis. I'll stop it there. Close enough. I'll do the crawl analysis. Good. Okay, so let's look at internal. Let's look at your link scores. So interesting. You've been doing some creative linking here. You've got some site-wide links, I'm guessing, to these pages here. Spring Cleanup Edmonton, some kind of special, some kind of thing, some special marketing thing you got going on here. And still got a lot of link juice going up to the top. Again, running a blog. I don't know why you're doing that. It's probably not going to help you rank for whatever it is you're trying to rank for. Don't let all this stuff be, well, no, you can let it be indexable. That's fine. Those are pings. Let's just look at the HTML. That's what I care about. Vroom, vroom. Now, there's a whole bunch of pages that don't have any page rank as far as you can tell. Like your services, general contracting, junk removal Edmonton. I'm betting you want to rank for this. And it's like, nope, you don't have any link juice here. So that's not a good thing. You probably want to have happening. Unless there's something wrong, or like I cut it off prematurely or something. Resume. Finish the 1%. Go. Why does it say 99%? Something seems to be killing it. Doesn't want to let it stop. All right. Anyway, so that looks like there's a problem there. Let's look at your URLs. There's something here that I'm seeing. There's a couple things here I'm seeing that is not helping you. There's at least one, two separate ranking factors that are scientifically proven to help boost you that you're not taking advantage of here that I can see, at least. Let's just look at the indexed ones. A whole bunch, and let's just look at the, geez. So there's a whole bunch of ones there that we're not taking advantage of. Page title. Page titles, we have a whole bunch that are duplicated. Even ones that are duplicated and indexed. So we don't want to see ones that are duplicated. And just looking at your titles, whether they're duplicate or not, I can see ones. Let's look at all of them. I can see ones here. Again, I can see at least 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 different ranking factors, scientifically proven ranking factors that you're not taking advantage of here, that you definitely could help boost your rankings. So definitely contact us to find out what those are. Meta description, the ones that are over 155 characters, let's look at all of them. You definitely want to rewrite the ones that are over 555. You want to rewrite the ones that are duplicated. Ones that are empty or missing, you definitely want to rewrite as well. I can tell you that right off the bat. And I could see at least one or two proven ranking factors you're not taking advantage of here that would boost you. Meta keywords, good. You don't have any. That's fantastic. Let's look at indexable. Good. You don't seem to have any. Good. That's fantastic. That's helping out. H1s. Okay. Good. Good. I could see some of the pages are not. I could see at least one factor here, scientifically proven factor here that that you're not taking advantage of. You have a whole bunch of duplicated ones. Why do you have these duplicate pages? What's the difference between this page and this page? Oh, one is non-indexable and it's canonicalized. Oh, you're canonicalizing the slash to the non-slash. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Ignore all the duplicate ones that had to do with that I talked about. But yeah, okay. And just to wrap up the show here, let's see what else we got. Canonicals, good. Fantastic. And so the rest here probably don't matter. Good stuff. Fantastic stuff. So I hope that helps out. Let me see if there's any more questions here. Oh, sorry, back to your roots herbs. I can submit your URL in the next show, and I can do it then. I've got to run. Sadly, I've got a meeting. I can't do it now, but submit your site on the next show. I'll be happy to do it then. Digital XAL says, looks like I got my weekend planned. Thanks for the advice to Jordan and maybe to myself, but to Jordan. And Jordan says, welcome to SEO. And Jordan's right. As per usual, Jordan's correct. Welcome to SEO. It's a never-ending, it's like a house, like buying a house. The housework is never done. Like the old Chinese proverb says, when house building done, man can die. Well, the house building is never done, so the man will live forever. So also the SEO work is never done, so the SEO will live forever in that regard. So I'd like to thank Melissa. I'd like to thank Jordan for chiming in there in the chat. I'd like to thank George for just dropping in and being on the panel. George is one of my good students in the mentorship group. If you have any, he says, yay. Thanks, George. If you have any questions for me, please email me at joshpaczynski@gmail.com. If you'd like me to explain anything I talked about on the show, I'd be more than happy to do so. Please email me at joshpaczynski@gmail.com. And we'll see you next week. And thanks for watching. Bye-bye.